Hey coders, in this video I'm going to teach you how to delete a record. So if you go into the data tab or toolbox, we pretty much have covered three of the four. Up here inside our display button, we taught you how to read records, right? That's right here. Over here in the add button, we teach you how to create records, which is right here. And our last video, we taught you how to update a record. So the last one I'm going to teach you is delete a record, and then you pretty much know how to access the cloud, how to add stuff to the cloud, change stuff to the cloud, delete stuff from the cloud. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and change our interface a little bit more so that we have. Oh, before we get into this, I want to make sure that this is very clear because this is starting to happen more now, and it's starting to really uh, frustrate me is that a lot of students are trying to take shortcuts and take a picture of my video. So if I don't see your name on the upper right, you will not get credit. So whatever screenshot you have, it better have your name up here on the button. Okay. So right here it says Steven. If I see Steven on yours, yeah, you're probably gonna get an email from me. Okay, to your parents. So um, guys, don't be dishonest. It's not a lot of work. It's only like today probably 7 lines of code, and I let you have 3 days to do it. So literally 15 minutes of work in 3 days. If you're literally to the point where you are cheating, it'll probably take you longer to cheat than to honestly to do it the right way. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go to our design tab. And let's go ahead and add in two more buttons. One button called delete and the index that you want to delete. So let's go ahead and pull this down. Okay. And let's go ahead and drag in a text input. Okay, let's go ahead and rename it. I think we already have text input, number input. Let's just call this one delete index input, right? Because it's basically the number of the index that we want to delete. Okay, so delete index input. Let's go ahead and put in a placeholder. Enter the index to delete. Let's go ahead and add in a button. Let's go ahead and call that button delete button. Let's go ahead and change the text on the button. Call it delete. Let's go to our code. Um, so before we go ahead and write code, uh, let's see if there's code that's already similar to what we want to do. So let's go ahead and do a dry run and kind of figure out what we want this whole thing to look like when it's done. Okay. So if I hit run, hit the display table, I have here January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay. So suppose that there's something I want to delete. So let's go ahead and add something that I want to delete. Let's say I misspelled October, something like that. Okay. And I click add and I display it. October now is index number 20 and it's misspelled. So if I want to delete it, I should be able to say, oh, look, I have an ID 20. If I type in 20 and hit delete, it should delete October for me. So that October is off my list. But obviously we haven't implemented it yet, but that's what we want to do. Okay. So it's pretty similar to, I guess, change button, right? Except I don't really need to get the text input. I just need the index, right? And I'm probably gonna have to check if I don't have to check if the name is empty. I'm not gonna have a name, but I do need to check if text temp index is not a number. Okay, so there's a lot of code here that we could reuse. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm just gonna copy this code and change what I don't need. Okay, so I'm gonna take the change button one, go here to the bottom of my code, Control V to paste it. I'm going to change button to to delete button. I need to click it. It's going to call the function. I don't need a temp name. I don't need the check to see the temp name is blank because I only need to know if the temp index is blank. So I'm just gonna retap some of this because I'm always a fan of good margins to see where your code begins and ends. So this right here, this semicolon right here is the end of the update record. This is the end of the else, and I don't need this again because we're not going to have uh, a text input. So we check if the index is not a number. Otherwise, we're going to what? Well, we're not going to update. We're going to delete. Let's go ahead and let's just leave this update here because maybe some of this code will be used. So I'm just going to kind of enter it down. But what we really want to do is delete record. So let's go ahead and see how delete record works. Once we pull it in, you'll see all you need is the name of the table, the ID you want to delete, and it's going to return, it's going to call the function, but it's going to have an argument called success. So again, success is if it properly deletes it, it will say true. If it doesn't delete it, it'll say false. Now, why would it say false? Well, what if you give an ID that's not on the list, right? It's going to say false. If there is a number on the index, it's going to say true. Okay, so we're going to use similar code. So we're going to have probably, let's go ahead and change my table to month tables here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. And I'm not going to delete ID number one. I'm going to delete ID temp index. So whatever the user put in, that's what I'm going to delete. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. And then it's going to have a function, and it's going to say success or not success. So let's go ahead and copy this code, but it's not going to be exactly the same, right? If success, what do you want? If I properly, successfully delete the record, what do you want to say? Well, we're not going to say record name. We don't have a record, and we don't have a name. What we have is a temp index. So let's go ahead and say temp index was successfully deleted. Okay. So it's going to say like 1 was successfully deleted, 2 was successfully deleted, 19 was successfully deleted, right? Something along those lines. And likewise, if it fails, we're going to say, temp index was failed to delete. And let's go ahead and, just go ahead and add a little better string in the front of this, our error message. Let's just say something like this: index blah was successfully deleted, or index blah, which 19 or whatever, failed to delete. Okay, something like that. So index blah was successfully deleted, or index blah failed to delete, or failed to delete. Okay, and I don't need this anymore. I just copying the code. So there you have it, guys. I think this is all. Let's go ahead and test and see if this works. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the code real quick. If the person clicks on delete button, it's going to take the value. Oh, it's not going to take the value of number input. What's this thing called again? It's called delete index input. So we got the wrong number here. It is delete index input. Okay, so delete index input takes the number from delete index input, stores it into temp index. It checks if it's a number. If it's not, it'll say this is not a number. Otherwise, it'll try to delete it. And I say try because why? Because it could be successful or unsuccessful. So it's going to delete the record from the table using the ID given by the user. If it's successful, it will say blank was successfully deleted. Otherwise, it will say blank failed to delete. Let's go ahead and hit run. Let's go ahead and display our table right now. So I still have that entry called October. Okay. So normally I would want to change it. Maybe this time I want to test if I can delete it. So it has an ID number 20. I'm going to type in 20 here. Hit delete. and it says index 20 was successfully deleted. Okay, so now if I hit display table, I should have all my tables correctly back. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I can go back and keep on adding to my list. So that's all, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines of code. Okay, if you don't count the semicolons and whatnot. So 10 lines of code. I'm going to give you 3 days to do it. So again, it's not because I think it takes 3 days, um, but I want to give you guys some flexibility so that you guys can work on your other classes and of course catch up in my class if you're falling behind. Again, guys, I can't focus this enough. I can't say this enough. If you need help, please email me. I will meet you on Zoom. We will get it done and get you caught up. Um, I'm gonna try to again keep limiting how much work I give you because I know your other core classes are giving you a lot of work to do. So yes, please email me if you need help on my stuff. And again, I'll let you have till Friday to turn in this assignment. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys.